morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. New year, one business day goes by, and I'm already confused. Or maybe it's a generational or cultural gap, I'm not exactly sure which. I was browsing on Amazon, and let me be honest with you. Silverlight has sensitive skin and a coarse beard. So while I love the feeling of a fresh shaven face, as do the women in my life, um, uh, using my old straight razor is rapidly becoming less and less effective. So I went online to look at electric razors. And most of them are still the ones that my father had, although I imagine the technology has improved. I looked at the ratings and I found what looked like it was going to be a winner. It was a conventional shape, which is good. There was one I liked a little more, but it had an unconventional shape to it. And I always think long term. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to replace the fool thing. But, the thing's going to need its own blades. It's going to need all these things eventually. So, I decided to go for the conventional one, thinking that maybe I have time to learn about the sizes later. Looked good, rechargeable. You could bring it in the shower with you. Said it was waterproof. Did it say waterproof or water resistant? I forget which, but basically it said right in the thing you could wet shave or dry shave, and this razor was gonna do the job. It was $50, which was about the right rate that I was looking in the price range. But I've learned something, especially with Amazon. You always scroll down to see this product bought with and see what lies there, because it's surprising. I do a little bit of diorama making. I do, a lot of stuff, and I like to see what accessories people are expecting you to have with it. Well, this razor was frequently bought with two other razors. Now, at first I looked at this. I thought that's weird. They're all about the same price range. This one's at 50. It supposedly does your beard, and the other two do your beard as well. And I was thinking maybe people use this because, every hair on the body is excised these days. They have chest hair. They have hair in areas that I might get demonetized for mentioning. And maybe there's a certain gross factor there that you don't want to shave your genitalia with the same razor that you're using on your face. Not an issue in my case. And I'm just figuring out because none of these razors differentiated from themselves. I remember, what was it when Buck a Month Razor, I think it was, started differentiating their products, and they said, yeah, this one is for, your sensitive areas, armpits, a little lower than the armpits, and stuff like that. But here's Amazon, it's not differentiating between these products at all. So are people just buying 3 razors? Like each one comes with 3 extra blades. Okay, cool. You replace them every 6 months, that means you're going to get about 2 years of this razor. But it never occurred to me to buy a razor to go along with my razor. It's just a mystery to me because literally no other product I've seen has done that. I've looked at drones, for example. And while I haven't purchased one and probably will not be purchasing one, it comes with, battery chargers. It's recommended that you buy certain battery chargers and extra batteries and stuff like that. It makes 100% sense. For dioramas, glue to put your trees in place and your houses in place if you're into that. It makes perfect sense. But a razor and buying a second razor, it's kind of like buying a car and buying a second car to go along just in case the first one doesn't work, in my opinion. Again, I understand the body image idea that you don't want to use the same razor, but that's literally the only reason I can think of, and I guarantee you, I absolutely guarantee there are people there that use the exact same razor for every single part of their body, and it's not because they're gross or disgusting, but these things aren't cheap. I tell you, I was looking at the top 10 lists and I was just going off that with what I was looking at, but I do my own hair as well. I started a few years before the pandemic, and during the pandemic, the $40 I spent for that head razor was worth every darn penny. Every single penny. Well, I doubt we're going to see anything like that in our lives again. I didn't buy a head shaver to go with my head shaver. I'm calling it a head shaver. I actually do use one of the longer attachments on it, but you understand what I'm saying. If I buy a pencil, and because I like a particular style of pencil, it's a carpenter's pencil. It doesn't tell me with a carpenter's pencil, buy another carpenter's pencil. When I bought batteries, it didn't tell me to buy batteries with my batteries. So I'm just wondering what's going on with this. And if you have ideas, by all means, leave them in the comments. But please keep it PG, because I am aware that some of these are used for very sensitive purposes. But that's just one of the weird things. I was promised something would happen in 2023. It's now 2024. And I got one email this morning saying they would look into it. Now, I don't mind that. And then about 2 hours later, somebody emails me and says, by the way, how did this other situation we were working on, which was resolved, it just took getting the higher up people to talk to the lower down people. And amazing how suddenly everything works. Now, I'm not a Karen. It's not my habit to go around trying to get people in trouble. Quite the opposite. It's like I've said before on this show, don't tell me what you can't do, tell me what you can do. And it's funny when I talk to the superiors that suddenly the next gentleman that got hold of me could do a whole lot for me. And the other people weren't rude. I wasn't out to get them in trouble. But I had to do something because it was my own personal interests at stake. A lot of the people who wind up not getting what they want, it's because they don't act on their own self-interest. Now, it drives me nuts, and it takes months. I spent no less than, so far, 58 hours on the phone resolving this issue. But the time and effort that it saves me is in the thousands. So, while I wouldn't book a salary on how many hours I put in and how much money I'm getting out, it is going to be worth my time. And again, this is all on the first working day of 2024. One personal thing and one, I guess you could call it a professional thing. But just letting you know, the Silverlight Show is back. It's here to stay. I'm really looking forward to next week and when I can really get back to work. Because, as you might know, I'm a writer. And I've got 2 books on the screen right now, and I'm raring to get going at them. Because I published one thing in 2024, and it was a, what do you call that, where people submit different stories and stuff like that. An anthology, that was it. I always wanted to do an anthology of my own, but I got to get my own stuff out first. So, yeah, it's going to be busy, but I think 2024 is going to be successful. Hey, it can't be worse than 2020 and 2021 with all that nonsense, can it? So, keep your PMAs online. That's your positive mental attitude. And I think things are going to start turning around. Give it to about March, because according to the Baltic Dry, in March there's going to be a little bit of an economic turnaround. It's fuzzy up until then, but I'll probably spend a show talking about that later. With that, we hope you enjoyed this show. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to click the bell icon down below so that way You'll be notified every single time that there's a new post. And we hope you have a fantastic day.